So welcome to our last Lunch and Learn for Q3. And it's a great topic with a wonderful speaker. It's actually a returning speaker in terms of Andrea Pratt Smith. She not only did an event with us before, but she did a live stream event. And she just did our PDD. So she's a friend of the chapter, basically. Before I get into Andrea's bio and introduction, I did want to go through some housekeeping items, which is that we would like to see your faces if you can. Turn on your camera, mute yourself. We will have a proper Q&A time, and make sure your Zoom name matches your registration name. And the PDU code will be sent. It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, it should be in the chat already. But I will send a post-event email that has the PDU code and the SurveyMonkey link for you to tell us how we did and what else you want from our chapter. Let's see what else. Use the chat to add your LinkedIn profile and try to connect that way in between meetings. We are very active on social media, so I like to encourage us to get together and connect. And let's see. If you have any questions, Andrea, do you mind if they get questions, if we send you questions as we go, or do you want them to hold on to the questions and wait for the end, like the proper Q&A?
No, we could do interactive.
Interactive. So you guys can go ahead and chime in with questions, but please mute your mic if you're not speaking, asking a question. All right. And basically the presentation topic for today is Agile Together, Strengthening Global Networks and Communities. But before we get into that, some upcoming events that we have on the 17th, we have the orientation meeting, where if you want to know more about the chapter, how you can get involved, maybe you want help with boot camp, or you want to know what classes to take, any kind of certification questions, we will be able to help you as best as we can within that 30-minute slot. And then we have 2 events in October. We have a multi-chapter event. It's going to be around the critical path method, so back to basic topic. And then we will also have a Tanya Boyd talk about the Tuckman's ladder as far as like teams and how we can be powerful teams and accomplish goals together. So that one is on the 10th. So we have 2 events on the books so far for October. And if we have anything else, I will add them on the calendar. So please watch your email, check the website as often as possible. That way you don't miss anything. On that note, we have several partners who reached out to us wanting to connect, wanting CIC members to maybe consider attending their events. The first one on the 10th of October is a 24-hour global conference, all virtual. I believe it costs 10 pounds, British pound, to attend, and it's through the UK chapter. So go to the link that you see on the flyer, and it's also on our social media, and try to register and see who's speaking. And it's 24 hours. I guess that means you can pop in and out as your schedule allows. And then the other one is Chicagoland, our sister chapter for Illinois. They're having their, I think it's the 14th or 15th symposium on the 11th of October. And they are looking for CIC folks to come out. It's going to be in person. So if you are closest to Chicago and you want to make the trip, go ahead by all means. They would love to see us come along and share in that event. You just have to register directly with each of these partners, friends of the chapter, if you will, if you are interested. And finally, there's a Gen AI conference, a one-day conference that SoftEd, they actually came to our chapter before, did a couple events with us last year, and they're inviting us to attend their Gen AI conference. It's a one-day virtual conference on the 30th. And all of these people, except the UK chapter, I'm working on getting us some CIC discount so that if we have any members interested, you can get a little something off the registration price. Anything helps, right? And we just had a election, and myself, Rick, and Julie are going to be part of the next board of director. My role will change from publicity to professional development. Rick is going to be over finance. Julie is going to change from education to membership. So I guess familiar faces, we're just switching for the most part. But Rick is a brand new director as far as the board, but he's a chapter member for a very, very long time. So that's the outcome of the last election. And finally, or maybe I'm almost to the end here, please visit the career development page on our website. Chris worked really hard on that page. So if you're looking for boot camp, you're looking for training, this is a really good spot to go and see what our partners, our ATPs are offering and sign up. And if you have questions, just send it to the VP_education@PMI-CIC.org email for questions. And then, of course, as the communications, social media person, please follow us if you are on any of these platforms. That way we stay connected in between meetings. All right. You go back to the top. All right, let me go into introducing our topic, which is right in front of you. And this is such a great topic. When Andrea gave me the option of this one and another one, it was a no-brainer because of the fact that most of us are in some kind of hybrid or virtual, like myself, full virtual situation. And we need to be able to work in an agile manner and also collaborate and support one another and hopefully do it with some best practices. And that's what we're going to cover today. So things like embracing collaboration over competition, basically practical strategies for engagement, to be inclusive, all things that are important when we're working virtually, especially. I mentioned Andrea Pratt Smith is a friend of the chapter. She really is, but she is a Bahamian visionary, you guys. I love what she does over there. As a fellow Islander, she's like a role model in terms of how she's working her project management knowledge. She's using that for good to, as far as the Bahamas is concerned. She has a company over there. It's called Creative Mind Project Development and Consultation. She's the founder of the first COP, like Agile Project Management COP in the Bahamas. She's also the Caribbean's first licensed Kanban trainer. And she's also an international speaker. She just won an Agile Practitioner Award for 2024. So Andrea, do you mind taking over and launching us into Agile together?
Thank you so much, Florence. Your introduction was flawless. I could not have done a better job if I had introduced myself. You made me sound so important. I really appreciate it.
I love what you do. I love it. I love everything you do.
Thank you so much. I'm so humble and I'm really glad to be here with all of you today to share what I'm truly passionate about. I'm passionate about Agile as an Agile practitioner or an award-winning Agile practitioner. Let me use Florence's words, which is true, an award-winning Agile practitioner, and also someone who has spent the past 3+ years just building community. It seems like it's been a longer time because of the mammoth accomplishments we've been able to achieve in such a short period of time, but it's only been about 3+ years that I've really been hands-on in the trenches, building Agile communities, supporting Agile communities, not only in the Bahamas with the community of practice that I founded, but also globally. So I will start by sharing my deck. So Florence, can you see my screen? Okay. So today we're going to be talking about Agile together and strengthening global networks and communities. And Florence gave you a preview of what I will be covering today, but I just want to give you a little bit more about myself. Florence mentioned a lot of these things, so I don't have to say it again. But what was not mentioned is that I've actually been a co-host for the Agile Alliance mini conference 2 consecutive times. So that's something I'm very proud of. I really try my best to be a true volunteer advocate and someone who is passionate about volunteerism, because I believe when we give, we receive. And that's something that I was able to assist the Agile Alliance with. Whenever they say, you know, we need somebody to do something, and if I have the time, there's nothing on my schedule, I raised my hand and said, I am there for you. So today we're going to talk about and explore global networking and community building and how Agile practices are strengthened. And some of those practices are knowledge sharing, support, innovation, and growth. And throughout the presentation, you're going to see exactly how those Agile practices can be strengthened through global networking and community building. Our agenda would cover the power of networking and Agile, building strong Agile communities. Florence said it, collaboration over competition, practical steps to strengthen global networks. I'm going to share some personal stories and experiences, and then we're going to have a time for Q&A. But like I said, I would like for this session to be a bit interactive. So during my presentation, if you want to come off of mute and ask a question, I'm open to that as well. So the power of networking in Agile. Even though you're a project management community, I think that this topic is very applicable because PMI is incorporating so much more Agile into its offerings, not only certifications, but the way that the chapters, they perform and the way that they network and they try to grow and be collaborative with other chapters and even other Agile communities. So this topic is applicable regardless of whether you're an Agile community strictly or where you're affiliated with PMI, like you are a PMI chapter. So the role of networking and Agile is all about building connections. And for me, building connections is not just about sharing LinkedIn profiles. That's not building a connection to me, because I have given out so many persons my LinkedIn profile. But honestly and truly, when you make that connection, you have to work on building it. And that connection should not be transactional. Like, I should not get a request from you to be a part of my LinkedIn network just because you want something from me, right? So do not try to just build connections to say, how can this person benefit me? Have in your mind, how can I benefit this person? And you will find that when you do that, opportunities present themselves where you in turn can be receive a benefit. But do not let the building of the relationships be where you're trying to, first of all, reach out to that person just to solicit either them to purchase something from you or to support whatever you're doing. Make it where I'm truly interested in you as a person and I want to have a connection, because I feel as though not only I can benefit you, but maybe down the line you can benefit me. Another thing that I really like about networking is sharing knowledge. I do not know it all. Even though I have a myriad of certifications that my family call the alphabet soup, I do not know it all. I'm still learning, and I think all of us learn something new every day, or we should aspire to learn something new every day. Another aspect is fostering collaboration. I love to collaborate with different entities and not just PMI chapters. Like Florence said in the introduction, I participated as a speaker for their professional development day. I was on the broadcast with her a few months ago. Any way that I can collaborate, I collaborate. If Florence knows of a speaker, but she said, oh, Andrea, I think this is somebody you should have speak at your community of practice. Okay, fine. Let's make it happen. So it's all about give and take, and that collaboration really goes a long way. Another thing is supporting continuous improvement and innovation. I love working on micro projects. My brain goes a mile a minute, because I'm always thinking about what's that next project? What's that next collaboration? How can I help somebody? How can I improve whatever it is that we're working on with our community of practice? How can innovation happen? What is that product we could build that can help persons learn and grow? So you always have this community where you have at your disposal well-rounded agilists who you can tap into that pool of knowledge to help you when you're thinking about those collaborations or those continuous improvement projects, or even something that's revolutionary. So it's always good to have both individual practitioners and agilists. So it strengthens the whole community as a whole by driving collective growth and success. Another key thing I always say when persons ask, well, why does networking in Agile really matter? Or why does networking matter in Agile, right? When you think about it, this quote by Michelle Janae is powerful. Networking is not just about connecting people. It's about connecting people with people, people with ideas, and people with opportunities. Like I said before, if you do not have just that idea that I'm going to get something from this person, and you have an open hand and you said, I want to give, I want to help, I want to grow, it's not just about me, it's about how I get to benefit others, you will find yourself always benefiting. And I use this analogy about an open hand. Like if you have an open palm, you're open to receive. But if you have a closed fist, it's hard for you to get anything with a closed fist. So have that mindset that I'm here to serve. Be a servant leader first and foremost, and you'll find that networking is just the means of you getting what you ultimately want in life. So networking is the lifeblood of Agile practices. And it's not just about connecting, it's about growing together. How can we all grow as a collective community? I want to see Florence succeed, and I'm sure Florence wants to see me succeed. So it's likewise, how can we help each other? What can we do? How can we leverage our network to help us grow together? And also, we look at the key benefits of networking and Agile. I said before, knowledge sharing. When you have a vast pool of experience at your disposal, is like limitless. There's nothing you can't do. You have a specialist here. You have this person who is a developer, this person who is an instructor. You have a pool of persons. So when you share that knowledge and you come together, you'll find that when you have these micro projects that you want to execute, you have the resources in-house. And even if you don't have it, then go outside of your network and say, well, who do I need to help with this micro project to get us to where we need to go? Another thing, support. Support is very important because you always should be looking for mentors and peers who understand your challenges. Mentoring is key. It's so important. I would not be where I am in my life as an Agilist, an Agile practitioner, if I didn't have mentors and also allies. And one of my mentors is Lee Lambert, the founder of the PMP. Lee has been so instrumental in just being able to answer the phone. I can call him at any time of the day when I'm having whether a professional crisis or a personal issue, and he's there. He'll answer and he say, "What's going on?" And Lee is somebody as a mentor. He cares about you as a person and your growth and development. And one of the things I remember fondly about Lee when I said to him, I think I want to share knowledge by being a professional speaker. I want to be able to go at different conferences and speak about my experiences and help other persons along their journey. And he said, okay, let's sit down and talk about how you can accomplish that. And he goes out there and he advocates on my behalf. If I share something on LinkedIn, he reposts it with a comment and say, she's the best person to speak at your event. Book Andrea for this event. Or, he's an advocate for me. So it's always good to have mentors, allies, and advocates who are in your corner, giving you that support that you need. Innovation. I spoke about it earlier. The cross-pollination of ideas that leads to breakthroughs. When you have a team or an Agile community that has a pool of experts or persons who are just hungry for learning, don't even have to be experts, just somebody who's curious, you'll find that the innovative ideas that come about are something new, revolutionary, never thought of, one of its kind, because you're exposing yourself to opportunities for growth. Speaking of growth, expand your skills and career opportunities. We should always have a mindset that we don't know it all, and there's always something new to learn. And the day that you tell yourself that you've learned it all, that's probably the day when you won't get out of bed anymore, because there won't be anything for you to do. You won't have a purpose in life. So always have this mindset that there's always something new to learn. I do not know it all. It may not be that you need to pursue another certification, because like I said, I have the alphabet soup, but I still want to go out there and continue learning. We all know that AI is the new thing on the block right now. And if somebody comes to you and they said, I know everything there is to know about AI, who is this person? Right? Like, who is this genius who's conquered the world of AI? Nobody knows everything about AI. I don't even think AI knows everything about AI. Like, AI is still learning. So how can you be the master of AI when the tool itself is still being molded and trained and conditioned to help us to learn about it? So always have that mindset that I will always learn, I will always grow, and there's always something new that I need to discover. Be curious always, and that's what an agilist is. Someone who's always curious and interested in learning something new. So remember, in Agile, we're stronger together than alone. And your network is your net worth in the Agile world, or any world, in the professional world. I'm sure you would have heard that saying before. Your net worth is tied to your network. People who you know support you more than anyone else. If you're just a newcomer on the scene, your friends and family members and those who are in your close-knit community, they will be your advocates, and they will go there and vouch on your behalf. The person who you are trying to tap into and say, you know, give her a chance. I've seen her do a speech before. She's pretty good. Or attend the training sessions. I've heard about somebody who've attended her trainings before, and she's really good as a trainer. So know that your network, they are going to advocate on your behalf. So that's why networking is so critical in helping you to grow into the person that you want to be and ultimately fulfill your purpose. So again, networking is not just about connecting people. It's about connecting people with people, people with ideas, and then those people with opportunities. So be mindful about your network. Try as hard as you can to get to know persons. We live in a digital world, and sometimes I feel the Zoom fatigue. Honestly and truly, I feel the Zoom fatigue working remotely and then having to do presentations remotely and meetings remotely. It's exhausting, but find the time to make those meaningful connections that will help you to develop into your purpose. How do you do this? There's a lot of ways we can go about and build our networks. There's global networks and there's local networks. Now, global networks, the benefits are you have diverse perspectives, 24/7 collaboration, especially if you're working with teams located all around the world. You have a broader resource pool and you have cross-cultural insights. So you learn from different diversities and different communities when you look at a global network. On the other hand, local networks, you get that face-to-face interaction. You're not always stuck behind a screen. You get to go out and socialize. You get to put on makeup and lipstick sometimes, right? And get out of the pajamas. Then you have shared local context. So sometimes you have where these communities, they have the same goals that you have. And so you have a shared local context. You have immediate support. You don't have to wait and wait till the time zone reaches that time of your time zone to call the person. You have immediate support, right? And sometimes it's even easier to build trust when you have a local network, because they would know you from, you know, for me, I live on an island. We don't even have a population of 500,000 people on this island. The island I live on is 21 by 7 miles. So I probably can circle this island twice in the time it'll take some of you to leave your house and get to your office. That's how small the island is. But the benefits of local networks is really priceless. And the key to it all is that you don't have to choose between global and local. You could find that sweet spot and have a combination of both. So my question to the audience, how many of you are part of at least 5 community of practices, whether it's a PMI chapter, an Agile community, anything? Are any of you a part of more than 5 community of practices? Well, let's go down to 4. 3. Okay, Florence is a part of 3. Chris is a part of 3. I've seen some hand raises. Okay, 3. So I can say that I'm connected and actively involved with at least 20 community of practices worldwide. At least 20, right? Without me counting them physically, I think it's about 20. Could be more. And on your screen, these are just some of the community of practices and the different Agile communities that I'm a part of in some way or the other. The Bahamas Agile and Project Management Community, that's the community of practice that I founded 3 years ago. It's the first and only community of practice for Agilists and project managers in the Bahamas. We have no other community of practice based in the Bahamas. But would you believe we are near 1,000 followers on Meetup, but 80% of our followers are international people and not Bahamians. So even though we are homegrown in the Bahamas for Bahamians, 80% of the persons who join our meetups are not Bahamians. Then also you have the ProKanban.org. ProKanban, like Florence said in my introduction, I'm the first professional Kanban trainer in the Caribbean, presently the only one in the Bahamas. And ProKanban has an awesome community of trainers located around the world. I think it's probably almost 300 trainers around the world. And their Slack community is unlike anything I've ever seen before. It is so helpful. They give you so many resources. They provide insights into innovative ideas and training concepts. It's a really fabulous community. And it's not just for trainers. Anyone can join ProKanban Slack community and get access to new resources. They have a few free trainings that they offer on their website, prokanban.org. And it's just a way to continuously learn. So I love to tap into them every now and again to just see what's new, what's hip, what's happening, and to continuously learn. I know a lot of you know about the Scrum Alliance. Actually, the Scrum Alliance is a sponsor of my community of practice, the Bahamas Agile and Project Management Community. We are a part of their Network Pro user group. So they provide us with nominal funding every year just to cover our subscription costs, our Zoom and Canva and all those different things, so that we could have some kind of sponsorship for our community of practice. And they also sponsor different community of practices located around the world. So if you was to go to Scrum Alliance website, and I think there's a link that says resources and it has community of practices, and you plug in which area you want to find a community of practice, they would give you a listing. But if you go and you put in Bahamas, only one listing will come up, and that's the Bahamas Agile and Project Management Community. Then also the Agile Alliance. I know a lot of you probably know about the Agile Alliance. They're a really good nonprofit organization that does awesome jobs as far as conferences, training opportunities. They do a lot of different speaking engagements. And they have resources out of this world as far as continuous learning. And I don't know how many of you know about Women in Agile. Does anyone know about Women in Agile?
No.
You've never heard about Women in Agile?
I think I might, but I don't know them as an org.
Okay, well, Women in Agile is a free community for women Agilists, female Agilists, and they do an awesome job of providing opportunities for persons who are interested in becoming speakers. So whenever these big conferences are being held, Women in Agile would give opportunities for female speakers to come up and be a part of the conference and what they call launching new voices. So if you're interested in being a speaker and you're new to speaking, Women in Agile is an excellent opportunity, free community to be affiliated with. I've never participated as a speaker with Women in Agile, but I will tell you that they provide scholarship opportunities twice a year, and I've benefited twice with scholarships. So, and it's free. So if you're not connected with them on LinkedIn, I will suggest that you go to LinkedIn, look up Women in Agile, join them, look out for when they offer scholarship opportunities. They offer scholarships for attending conferences, and also if you're looking for certifications or trainings. For trainings, they offer a scholarship of $3,500, up to $3,500. And if you want to attend a conference, their scholarship for that is up to $1,500. I've benefited twice. So if you go on their website and you see the list of persons who've gotten scholarships, my name is going to be there twice. And I keep telling persons, whoever I meet, and they say, well, oh, I want to attend this conference, or I want to do the certification. I really can't afford it. It's not in my budget at this time. There are opportunities for scholarships, but if we don't know, we don't know. So I'm here to let you know that there are thriving global Agile communities out there that are not necessarily affiliated with PMI in any way, but you don't have to stay in the PMI box. You can branch out, spread your wings, and learn what's out there and find out how it can benefit you and others. Because once you know, I'm sure you're not going to keep this secret to yourself. You're going to call everybody and say, girl, I just got that scholarship. I've been to this conference. I actually went to the PMI Global Summit last year in Atlanta with the Women in Agile Scholarship. My first time attending the PMI Global Summit was last year in Atlanta. And I was flying pretty because my expenses were basically paid to attend that Global Summit. The ticket is $1,650. And Women in Agile paid $1,500. So as you can imagine, that was a huge boost for someone who was coming from the Bahamas, had to purchase an international ticket, get hotel, and plus pay for the conference. It would not have happened if it wasn't for that scholarship from Women in Agile, because that was like 3,000, maybe 4,000 plus just to attend that conference. And $1,500 was a big chunk of money to help with that expense. So I encourage you to look into a few of these community of practices. I just discovered the Alliance of Black Project Managers, and that seems to be a really good one to pay attention to. Also, Women Power Up. Women Power Up is a global community of practice. I actually serve as part of their board. They have a lot of opportunities. A lot of the women there are based in India, and they provide exceptional opportunities to learn about AI. They have a newsletter that they put out once a month. It's very good for continuous learning. And then I want to talk about the Scrum Masters of African Descent, because I am actually part of their planning committee for their upcoming conference that is being held in October in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm also one of their speakers. So being a part of these communities, they have boundless benefits, not only continuous learning, knowledge sharing, but you have an opportunity to learn how to plan a conference. You have opportunities to attend conferences. You have opportunities to talk with persons who are walking that path that you aspire to be on. And so they have that firsthand knowledge of what it takes for you to get where you want to be. But sometimes we feel as though I don't have the time. I don't have the time to be a part of all these different communities. I can't be here, there, and everywhere. I remember when I was first starting my Agile journey and I attended a virtual meetup for Women in Agile Africa. And they put us in breakout rooms to meet somebody new. And I was speaking to a few ladies in the breakout room. And one of the ladies said, well, where are you joining us from? And I said, oh, I'm from the Bahamas. And she's like, well, how could you be in Women in Agile Africa meetup if you're in the Bahamas? I said, simply, we're virtual. I could be anywhere in the world. So she was like, you know what? I never thought about that. I never thought that I could join a different group somewhere else in the world. I just thought I was supposed to stay in Africa. Why are you staying in Africa when we have technology where we could be anywhere in the world, anytime we want to be there. So it's like, okay, light bulb moment. So she was like, I'm definitely going to explore now. So that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years. I've been exploring different communities. I've been learning. I've been growing. I've been excelling. One of the ones that I didn't speak about was the Agile International Coaching Meetup. They used to be the South Florida Agile Association. I actually heard about them when I was a member of the PMI South Florida chapter. And I started visiting their meetups. They met every Saturday, and then it was like every Wednesday. And I actually became involved with a Scrum team that was building an app. And I had just gotten my certified Scrum Master certification. And I was thinking, how am I going to get practical hands-on experience learning Scrum if I don't have any Scrum teams to work on, or don't know of any companies doing Agile in the Bahamas? How am I ever going to learn how to use Scrum? And being a part of this community of practice, I was a part of this Scrum team learning hands-on how to build an app using Scrum with my newly achieved Scrum Master certification. And I was blown away because at the end of the day, we had a product built, and that product is in the Google Play Store, and it has my name on it to say that I was a part of this team that built this app. And I was like, that is such a huge accomplishment from someone from the Bahamas, where we don't even have that many companies practicing Agile, to say that I was a part of this Scrum team, and there's an app that you could go and download in the Google Store. It's called a Smart App, SMRT app, and my name is on that app as a contributor to say that I helped build this product. So I'm very proud about that. So moving along, I spoke about a few of these thriving global Agile communities and the benefits of them. Agile Alliance, there's also scrum.org, there's the SAFE community platform. I don't know if any of you have SAFE certifications. I have a few of them. PMI, Agile Community of Practice, and Women in Agile. We spoke about Women in Agile. So some of these community of practices, they're thriving and they're global because of a few things. They have regular virtual events like your community does. They have active online forums. They offer shared resources and best practices. And they also have mentorship programs. And like I said before, mentorship is crucial in this journey because we always need someone to be our ally, our advocate, and our supporter. And mentors do an excellent job. And when they have a mentorship program, that really helps persons to grow and develop. So the key takeaway here, I know I've said a lot, but as you can tell, I'm very passionate. So I speak very quickly when I'm passionate about something. So global versus local networks, a comparison. Both global and local networks, they both offer unique advantages. And the magic really happens is when you learn how to leverage both. I've done exceptionally well because I've leveraged local communities and I've also been a part of global communities. And I've found what works for me. If I know what I want to achieve, I find where can I go? What table can I sit at for me to grow as a person? And I think that a lot of these organizations, that's their mission. They don't want to just grow as an organization. They want their members to grow as well. They want to hear success stories about how the initiatives that they're implementing are developing and helping people succeed. So find that sweet spot of local and global networks, and don't just stay stuck in a box and say, well, I'm in this region, so I only have to stay in this region. No, I'm on a rock, literally. This island feels like a rock sometimes, how tiny it is. And I try to expand my reach to a global scope. So I may live on an island, but my mindset is global. Building strong Agile communities. Now, this is where I get into sharing my own insights about what was successful for me in building the Bahamas Agile and project management community. And what I found is that some of the foundations of strong Agile communities, at the very basic level, you have to have trust. If people don't trust you, they will never buy into what you're selling. And even though you're not basically selling anything, you're selling a community. You're trying to get them to join you. You're trying to build a network. But if they can't trust you and they don't feel that authenticity and they don't see that, they don't feel as though this is just a transactional relationship, they're not going to support it. So first and foremost, be authentic in whatever you do. Have a heart for people. And I think that's what really has been my success factor. I care about other person succeeding, honestly, more than I care about myself succeeding. Like, I would give someone else an opportunity if it means that that will advance them, and I'll take a backseat and wait on another turn. Like, there's enough in this whole world for everyone to succeed. But if we're trying to stand on a person's head to get where we're trying to go, then we'll never get where we're going. And even if we get there, I assure you, we won't last if we get there that route, you know, on the at the sacrifice of someone else. So you have to build trust, make sure that you have shared goals and open communication. I always tell my team members, with me, what you see is what you get. If I say something, I'm going to do what I say. Like, you don't have to second guess. I wonder if she's actually going to show up. I wonder if she's actually going to do what she said she's going to do. No, I stand by my word. If I said I'm going to be somewhere, unless something really major happened that's out of my control, I will be there. And I'll be there on time because I'm a project manager. So don't let persons confuse you with this thing, but oh, she lives on an island. She's on island time. They're so laid back. They're always late for everything. No, I'm not on island time. Even though I'm in a different time zone from you guys, we're an hour ahead. I value people's time. And one thing, I have a pet peeve. I don't like people to waste my time, so I don't waste people's time. So there's no such thing as island time in my world. Just remember that. At the mid-level is collaboration, diversity, and conclusion. You always want a community where persons feel like they have a place where they belong. If you don't give persons an opportunity to collaborate, or you try to bring them into the conversation, then they're going to feel isolated. Like, why am I here? I'm not adding anything to it. So why should I be a part of this? So always be mindful that there's opportunities for diversity and inclusion. We want a mixture of people. We don't just want the same people who would look like us. We want persons who are not like us, persons who are different cultures, different ethnicity. We want a mix so that everyone's idea can be valued. And innovation happens when you have variety, because what I would think is something good, someone else might come up with an idea and I say, you know what, I never thought about it like that. So when you have that mix and you have diversity, you find that your ideas are very revolutionary, out of the box, and something you may not even be thinking about. At the top level, continuous improvement. You have to always be thinking, this is going well, but how can it be better? This is excelling, but how can we be better? So my mindset is always, how can we improve? Like I was telling Florence before we joined the call, I'm thinking about incorporating lunch and learns into our session and not just have monthly meetups, because there's persons who want to join us who at 6 p.m. Eastern time, that's kind of late. But if we have a mix up and say, well, okay, let's do a few lunch and learn sessions, even if it's once a quarter, that's something new and innovative. And I'm a person, my agile mindset is so like I just want to do everything new. I want to experiment. I'm a pure and empiricist at heart. I embrace empiricism to the core. So if it doesn't work, that's fine. We tried it. But let's not shoot it down before we give it a chance. And continuous improvement helps us to always be exploring different ways that we can make our community even better for those who follow us. So let's talk about community principles, meeting agile values, right? So this diagram illustrates that intersection of three key elements: people, process, and technology, right? So these elements converge to form the foundation of organizational culture within agile communities. The first point, people. People are the backbone of any community. And so it's important for us to know that in Agile, this aligns with the principles of trust, collaboration, and continuous improvement. You have to care about people. People are always first. If you don't have people, you don't have a community. Process. This talks about the structured methods and workflow that guides the team's operations. So Agile processes promote efficiency, adaptability, and iterative progress towards shared goals. Then we have technology, which are the tools and platforms that support and enhance the work of people and processes. So effective use of technology in Agile helps in automating those repetitive tasks, enabling better communication, and facilitating real-time collaboration. So when you look at the organizational culture, the intersection of people, process, and technology fosters a strong organizational culture. And this culture is essential for sustaining an agile community that thrives on trust, open communication, and a shared vision. If the people don't have a vision, they perish. So always remember the organization culture, it matters, and it's centered around people, process, and technology. Now, how do you keep your community engine running? These are some strategies that energize your community. Have regular meetups. Set a cadence. Like for us, we do once a month. We're the last Thursday of the month. Same time, unless there's a special circumstance where we have to change the time. But we meet once a month, every month, except November and December, where we take a break. So January to October, we have monthly meetups. We also have a Slack channel where we have an online forum for discussions. The Slack channel allows our community to always be continuously talking to each other. So we're building communications, we're building our networking, we're making those relationships count, and we're helping each other to succeed. So we post things about job opportunities. We post stuff about free training. We post about different webinars that's happening at different community of practice. So it's always a knowledge sharing community, and also an opportunity for us to exchange ideas and to have discussions. We also have a mentorship program. So our mentorship program, we allow experienced practitioners to mentor newcomers. And this is crucial because persons want to hear success stories. They want to hear your failures. You know, you might believe it, but some persons want to know, why didn't you succeed at your first attempt, or what could you have done differently? Because some persons, they don't want to learn through experience. They want to learn from other person's failures. And we call that lessons learned in project management, right? So I don't have to repeat the same mistakes. I could just take a session, sit down with a mentor and say, tell me, what lessons did you learn from this experience? And that way you could avoid those pitfalls, and it saves time. So if I know your roadmap, then I don't have to go around and have a jigsaw maze trying to figure out something, because you gave me the roadmap. So it's always good to have those mentoring programs where you have experienced persons who have connections with newbies to the field. Collaborative projects. We encourage our members to work together on community initiatives. So we do outreach projects whether it's a beach cleanup, or we help some nonprofit organization with some activity that they're doing. We always find a way to have those collaborative projects where it's an outreach, some aspect of outreach and helping the community and those who are less fortunate than we are. Knowledge sharing sessions. Well, that encompasses just like I said before, we share knowledge. How can you benefit from something that I know about? If you know about something that's happening, we share it with each other. Recognition and rewards. I think that anyone who works in a volunteer capacity, that they should be recognized and rewarded in some way. Now, persons may tell you, I'm volunteering, so I don't expect to be compensated monetarily. But you can do something like a luncheon for your volunteers, or just give them coffee or vouchers for something every now and again, just to say, I appreciate you, because persons are giving of themselves and their time, and they may not ask you for it, but they would greatly appreciate if you could take the time and just say, I appreciate the work that you do. You give of yourself, and I want to reward you in some way. So it doesn't have to be where you have this grand presentation and you give everybody plaque. It's just the small, for me, I think the small things matter. And just that constant reminder of that, I appreciate what you do. I know that you have options. You don't have to be a part of our community. And I thank you for your time. So always be able to reciprocate and say, well, thank you for whatever it is that you do. You're a meaningful part of the team. And that people feel like they matter. So that's a very important aspect. How to get your community energized. Those are some of the strategies that I utilize. Now, I want to share with you about BAPMC. BAPMC, when we first started 3 years ago, the first project we did was we did a kids club. And we did a club where the volunteers came from different aspects of society, and we did a program where we encourage kids to be kid entrepreneurs. So every kid that participated in our kids club was a kid that had an idea for a business. And we had speakers come in. I think it was like 8-week program where we had different speakers come in and they talked to the children about how to start a business, different aspects of a business. My daughter actually participated in the club. She started her first business through this program. She became a baker. She established a company. The name of it was Sweet Tooth. And she was getting so popular that I had to close down the business. I got tired of baking. So I told her, I said, your business is doing so well. You're getting so many orders. I don't want to do it anymore. This is not fun for me. So we had to close down Sweet Tooth and focus on school. But I know that she enjoyed the experience of learning how to run a business, the different aspects of a business, how to manage her money. So the children really did well in this program. And at the end of it, it culminated with celebration on the beach. We had a full day where the kids got awards, there's certificates. We had a trainer came in and do some exercises with the children, and we had some fun and games. So our first initiative when BAPMC was formed was our Kid Entrepreneurs Kids Club. And that was a really fun venture that we took on. Now, since we've been formed, we've had about 50 plus speakers. And like I said earlier, we're approaching our milestone of 1,000 followers. And I say followers because BAPMC is a free community of practice. We do not charge membership fee. So we call the persons who are part of our meetup platform followers. When meetup call them members, but we call them followers. We've also done collaborations with the University of the Bahamas, the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, Queens College, the American Corner, our mentorship program. We've had like 20 plus mentor-mentee pairs, our internship program. We allow for real-life practical skills. And we also have study groups to assist persons who are looking to obtain certifications, whether that's PMI certifications, SAFE certifications, Scrum Master certifications. We try to assemble a group of persons who are interested in obtaining those certifications and have a study group for whatever sessions or whatever period they need to have to help them obtain those certifications. And one key element of all of this is that the work that we do as a community of practice, we try to keep in the headlines. It's very important that people know that we exist. And like I said earlier, of the nearly 1,000 followers that we have, 80% are foreigners. So we've come up with this whole brilliant concept that we need to be seen locally more. We need to be on the ground. We need to do some more work. We need to let persons know that we exist and the benefits of having us or joining us. So what we've done is over the past few months, we've launched like this media campaign where we try to get on radio stations, we try to get on television stations. I've been interviewed as part of the Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress panel discussion. We had a highlight in the newspaper in 2023 when we did our collaboration with the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute. So all of these are just a few snippets of us being in the news, the headlines of BAPMC and how we try to just expand our reach in the community. So in 2023, Lee Lambert, my mentor, he came to the Bahamas and I worked him like a Hebrew slave. He was everywhere doing everything what I wanted him to do. We did workshops, we did media appearances. And he said, Andrea, I thought I was coming to the Bahamas for vacation. I'm like, who lied to you? You're not coming for vacation. You're coming to work. So we was like doing radio interviews, television interviews, and he had a blast. Don't mind him. He might tell you I worked him hard, but we had a blast. And he's asking me now when I'm going to bring him back to the Bahamas again. So we're working on it. But additionally, last year, he and I both spoke at the PMI Africa conference in Nairobi, Kenya. So we got to link up in Kenya. And then after that, I don't know if you're aware, but he had to have one of his legs amputated. And so when I left the PMI Global Summit in Atlanta last year, I flew to Ohio and I spent some time with him while he was still in the hospital recovering. So he and I have a very special relationship. And like I said, it's always good to have that mentor where you can call on them, but it's not transactional. It's not what can you do for me? Like that relationship is not about what can you do for me. This is a true friendship. I'll help you as much as I can. You help me as much as you can. But the basis of it, the core of it, is a genuine friendship. I care about him. He cares about me. So be mindful of that, that whatever relationships you develop, it's not transactional. And people don't feel as though they have to stay away from you because you always have a need. You know, you could care about people and still benefit. So let's talk about collaboration over competition. I have the saying that when I started my Agile journey, I honestly feel as though I started it like a horse in the race, and I have on the blinders, you know, the blinders that they put on the side of the horse when they're in the race so they can't see left and they can't see right. They don't get distracted. That's how I feel. Like I'm a horse in this race, but I have blinders on. So I don't look left, I don't look right, and I definitely ain't looking back. So they ain't nothing to look back for. So I am not competing with anybody. I am me, my own genuine, authentic self. And so whenever I accomplish something, it's not because I'm trying to catch somebody up, because I'm not running to catch somebody up. I'm just running my own race. And I encourage you to have that mindset as well. If we're not in competition, then you don't have to feel as though you have to pull somebody down. You find that sometimes when you're in competition, if somebody is trying to excel, you're so busy trying to find a way, how can I stop that person from excelling? And so you're not focusing on how can you succeed. You're focusing on how can I stop that person from succeeding more than I am or being more visible than I am. So Agile communities thrive on shared knowledge, and also collaboration accelerates innovation. You have to get out of that mindset that this is a competition. This is not a competition. So if you want to go fast, the African proverb says, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And so when you hear me talk about me being a part of different community of practices all around the world, I'm not there because I'm trying to take away from what they're doing. I'm there because I want to genuinely learn, I want to grow, and I want to help that organization succeed. And by me having that mindset, they're always going to look back and say, well, how can we help Andrea succeed? How can we help the Bahamas Agile and project management community succeed? So it's always that open, calm concept. I freely give, so my palm is open, so I can freely receive. But if I have a closed fist and I say, well, I don't have the time to help this community, I don't have the time to help that community, I can't grow, I can't learn, I won't be succeeding because I can't has my wrist closed. My palm is closed because I can't. And I learned a long time ago that if you want to succeed in life, you have to take that word can't totally out of your vocabulary. So that's what I've done. Can't doesn't exist. If someone else can do it, then I can do it. So a few collaboration success stories. As you know, Global Scrum Gathering is excelling. They have a global Scrum Gathering that just happened in Singapore. I think last week it was. Agile Alliance has their global network. They have conferences all over the world. PMI Global Summit. PMI is getting ready to have their Los Angeles Global Summit in a few days. I think it is, or probably next week. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend that one because I'm preparing to go to the PMI South Florida conference. So that was a little bit of a conflict for me. But these community practices, their impact is that they're accelerating learning. They have a broader perspective and they have increased innovation. So if you want some true success stories about collaboration, these are just 3 case studies that I think are doing an excellent job. PMI is also doing an excellent job with their Global Summit series. And they have another Global Summit series happening in November in Rwanda in Africa. And I actually submitted a proposal for that. And it was not accepted, unfortunately. So I won't be attending the PMI Global Summit in Africa. But I did enjoy my experience last year. And I have photos with the PMI Rwanda chapter president that I am going to be posting. But I will put a note that this is not an actual photo of me at the conference right now. This was last year. So I was forward thinking and I took some photos with the PMI Rwanda chapter president. So, practical steps to strengthen global networks. These are a few of the things that I think are very important to strengthen global networks. You have to leverage technology. We have it for a reason. It's here. Let's use it. PMI Central Illinois chapter is able to have me as a speaker. I'm in the Bahamas, a whole nother country, because of technology. We have Zoom, we have LinkedIn, we have all these different things at our disposal. So we just need to use them and be efficient and effective at using them. So use them wisely. We have Twitter, we have Reddit. I don't know what is Reddit because I don't use it, but I'm sure some persons do. We have Slack communities. So it's so many things at our disposal where we can always find creative ways to share knowledge, build relationships, have that community. But the key to it all is consistency. Like I said, do not make people feel as though you're just connecting with them for transaction, like in and out. You know, I just want to know you because I want this one thing and then I'm bouncing. No, you have to build a relationship, let people know that you care about their success. Your exchange should be meaningful and always seek to share and seek knowledge. So don't only take. Give. The more you give, the more you receive. And I know that's a song, but I can't remember the song and I don't want to sing. But how do we build inclusive, agile communities? I said it before and I'll say it again. Diversity, innovation. You have to include people into your community who would not necessarily be a part of it. They want to participate, but you have to make it accessible. Make it where they feel as though they have something to contribute. And a perfect example for this is our previous meetup, just this August. Our speaker, Tina Mavunga, she was based in Johannesburg, South Africa. And she messaged me like a year ago and said she wanted to be a speaker, that she used to be a speaker before, but she took like a 7-year break. And I said to her, well, you know, we meet at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what time that is in Johannesburg, but I assume it's pretty late. And she said, yeah, but Kent, do you think you could accommodate me at an earlier time? And I said, sure. You know, I'll speak to my team and we'll schedule you for a special time. We'll have you come on at 4 p.m. Eastern. And she said, okay, great, that works for me. And we just marketed this and said, okay, this is a special time. This is not our regular time. You guys, be mindful, this is a special time. Come for 4, don't come for 6, because if you come for 6, no one will be in the room. So she did an excellent job with her presentation. She spoke about managing expectations and projects as a project manager remotely. She was really one of our best speakers. And I felt so honored to have her share her experiences and to accommodate her, because we could have said, no, this is our set time. We don't want to, you know, shuffle the cadence. Our followers are used to joining us at 6. This can't work. You know, find somewhere else to go and talk. But no, we included her. So that's a perfect example of inclusivity, diversity, and making people feel as though they have a safe space to communicate. I'm going to wrap up very quickly because I'm losing my voice. It's me. So a few personal stories and experiences. Like I said, I submitted a proposal to speak at the PMI Global Summit in Rwanda. That was shut down. But the good thing about it is I'm still working on that presentation. It's a collaboration with a gentleman that I met in Kenya last year, but he lives in Australia. So we are collaborating on a proposal that we are going to use at a different conference. And I was just laughing to myself. Yes, Lawrence? You're on mute.
Sorry, we are now 1:05. So can you wrap up maybe in the next 2 minutes?
Yes, I'm just about wrapped up.
Thank you.
So he and I are continuing to collaborate on preparing this paper for a presentation to present at a different conference. So I met a Nigerian in Kenya, but he lives in Australia. That's serious networking. So I hope you guys caught that. And I spoke about speaking at the Scrum Masters of African Descent Conference that's coming up in October. That is just the details of it, if anyone's interested in the conference. I can share that details on LinkedIn. And lessons from my personal Agile journey, right? So I spoke about attending my first PMI Africa conference in Nairobi, Kenya, and founding the BA PMC. So my key lessons was always embrace continuous learning. I do not know it all. I have about 20 something letters behind my name, but I still look forward to learning. I love to learn. I network proactively. Like I seek out persons that I think, okay, this is somebody I want to know. I need to know. This is someone who I can learn from, someone who I may could assist. It's not always about what can I get. It's how can I give? How can I serve? So always have that mindset. And then share your unique perspective. I think everybody has a personal story. No story is going to be like my story. There's only one Andrea Pratt Smith from the Bahamas. That's why I put the hyphenated Pratt Smith, because there's plenty Andrea Smith, but there's not many Andrea Pratt Smith. So you have a unique story to share. You have a unique perspective. And I think that if we share our experiences, we can help others to grow and to learn and to be great Agile practitioners. So I want to thank you all for this opportunity to share with you. This is my information. I first and foremost a child of God before I'm anything else. So I always say I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Can't does not exist in my vocabulary. I feel as though if someone else has accomplished something, I can do it too. I may not be able to do it better, but I will be able to do it because can't is not a constraint that I allow to stop me from living my life to the fullest. And I encourage you to always pursue the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And thank you to all, 10 of you who stayed online and to basically bring this presentation to a close. You gave us a lot to think about. And even from a chapter perspective too, there's a lot that we could be doing to grow our community right here in Central Illinois and even globally, because we are online. And so we're not limited to just Central Illinois. So I was actually thinking for my chapter too, not just for my own little needs. It was a great presentation and I can't thank you enough. If you guys don't have any questions, please connect with Andrea, follow her. I follow her consistently. I see what she's doing. And basically watch your inbox, jump online, check the upcoming events so you can sign up for the next event. Like I said, we have 2 events coming up on the 2nd and on the 10th of October. And as more things get added, and then we have the kickoff for 2025 in the works where we're planning it. So just pay attention to your emails. And when we send you those things, please open them up so you don't miss anything, basically. Ingrid, did you have anything to say really quickly before we go?
I would just like to say thank you, Andrea. This was, yes, like Florence said, there are a lot of things I'm like, oh yeah, we need to really be thinking about that. Also, for those of you that do not know or haven't read it, we are shortlisted for chapter of the year. We will find out next week if we will have gotten that. So we will be in LA for that announcement. That goes to everybody who is on the board, and it definitely goes to our membership because we serve you. So thank you so much. We look forward to continuing serving you, and thank you so much for being at this meeting today. And thank you so much, Andrea. This was awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Florence.
Thank